Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I have kind of a special type of video where I'm going to be doing a full Phasmophobia guide with a little bit of tips and tricks on how I do the game. If you do not know who I am, my name is Cyclone TV and I have probably the highest level and most hours in Phasmophobia, so I'm going to give kind of a rundown on just everything I know about the game, whether that be, knowledge on a certain item in the game to figure out the ghost, or just in general everything about the game. So hopping into it, Bleasdale Farmhouse is probably your best option if you're trying to go for the most money as a solo player. We're just going to go ahead and add in every item in the game, and then we'll hop in and I'll give you guys a little description on every item, how it works. It's just going to be kind of like my overall all-in-one guide about how I play the game and how I go about getting the ghosts and stuff like that. So just starting off, if you are new to the game, I'm just going to explain every item. If you're not, then you could probably go ahead and skip ahead in the video with the tips and tricks about when I get into the house. So first off is the Sanity Pills, which give you about 50% sanity, which you could track in the truck. The more you're in the house, the more it drains. This is professional Bleasdale. This right here is the thermometer, which you can tell the temperatures. I am playing on the beta, which means that the temperatures will all be low inside of the house until I turn the power on. So that is something to keep in mind. Glow sticks, used as a UV light source to see fingerprints and footprints. Spirit box, which you talk to it for a ghost evidence. Motion sensor, you can put this in hallways to track where the ghost's movement and stuff like that is. This is a sound sensor, which you can use to put in an area, and it fills like a large portion up on here, and it'll have a bar which you can see activity. This right here is an infrared light sensor, which you can use to, I would say this is more of the useless items in the game. You put it on the wall, and if a ghost passes it, it like illuminates the room a little bit. A photo camera, take a picture of, the ghost, the bone, Ouija board, stuff like that. You get more money. Parabolic Microphone, which recently has been receiving buffs. Supposed to work a little bit better. I don't really use it that often, but it picks up sounds. Your EMF reader for another ghost evidence. The smudge sticks, which can prevent a ghost from hunting for 90 seconds and also will anger it to show itself and, prevent a hunt for 90 seconds. Crucifix, if you did not already know, has 2 charges per one. There's 2 of them. They have a 3-meter circle around them, which is the equivalent of 9 feet. So a crucifix will cover 9 feet. And when I bring in items and show you what I'm doing, I'll go over all the items. Video camera to capture ghost orbs. This is your default flashlight. This is a UV light right here. Ghost writing book. This is your strong flashlight. Just gives off, more light than the default one. Lighter for the smudge sticks and the candles. Go ahead and light like a candle like that. And then salt. In my opinion, salt and photo camera is the strongest things in the game. And I'll kind of show you why. Also, a head cam, don't really need it because I'm solo. But first, a little tip on Bleasdale is if you come over here to like this little corner place, like about right here, there is a chance that you can actually see a ghost orb in the window. It's not 100% guaranteed all the time, just because for one, you have to take into account that it has to be a ghost orb ghost, and for 2, that the ghost might not be in one of these rooms. It could be like in the kitchen where you can't see it and stuff like that, so on and so forth. So I highly recommend, always taking a strong flashlight. My choice is a thermometer and a photo camera, and there's a couple of reasons why. I never rely on, say, EMF reader or spirit box or a thermometer to tell me where the ghost's at. There is 2 things in the game that, are better than, that are not in the game, I should say, that are better than what you're going to use in game, which is your headset, and your eyes. And what I mean by that is that, listening for what the ghost does, whether that be touching an object, walking, stuff like that. And then also when you get, more into the game and you know where things are placed, looking for anything that's out of place. I strictly use the thermometer as just a backup device, like a confirmation to say, okay, the ghost is here. So that is what I do. I use it as a backup. I'm not constantly looking at the thermometer. I'm more so looking for things out of place and hearing the ghost's footsteps and if it's throwing anything, right? So coming in, tip number 1 about Bleasdale is there's 3 voodoo dolls which will count as an interaction. One being right here. You can take a photo of that and it'll count as interaction number 1. Come in here to the left, we got Lucky, and the bone is literally right here, so make sure you always snap a picture of that before you pick that up because it'll count as a bone picture. And take a picture of this doll. So, like I just said, your headset is the number 1 thing that is going to help you in Phasmophobia rather than your thermometer. As you can see, it just dropped down to 1.9. If you get anything less than 3 Celsius, that will tell you that it is freezing temps. It might not be freezing right now, but it will be freezing. So the ghost is in this room. It is freezing temperatures. I know it because I heard it and then I confirmed it with my thermometer, right? So I don't really need to turn the power back on. We can just go back out. Also, when I do play solo, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, you don't have to, but I drop my flashlight, which allows me to pick up another item. So I could carry 3 things back instead of 2. Going back to the truck, there's a couple of things that I like to take in a certain order. And I've explained this a couple of times in some of my other videos, but I'll kind of give you a little rundown again. You have kind of like long evidences and like instant evidences. And what I mean by that is that you have your long evidence, which would be your video camera, which means that I need to go into the house, place the camera down, and then come back out to check if there's a ghost orb. It takes a long period of time compared to a fast evidence, which is a spirit box, which all I have to do is go in there, you know, turn it on and say like, where are you? You know what I mean? So another long evidence. This is like a 50-50 coin flip between if it's going to be long or if it's going to be short. I've had ghost writing become instant, and I've had it take a long time. Recently on the beta, ghost writing has been taking quite some time, so I do consider it like a long evidence now. So these are the first 3 things you want to take over something like an EMF reader. And the reasoning behind that is that sometimes, not even sometimes, mostly all the time, the amount of times you walk in with an EMF reader and you're walking out and you start hearing it going off and you're not sure if it's EMF 5 or not, the amount of times is I can't even count it on my hands, you know? So it's always good to take the EMF reader last when you have everything in the room, so you can always pay attention if it's going to be EMF 5. So that's a nice little thing that I like to do a lot, is bring that in last. I always bring everything the same way, every order. So we can go ahead and place the video camera down here, which will get an inside view of the room. Another little trick is that in the beta, he updated it so that it's not so bright in the room. So if you point your camera completely up and throw it up into the air, it'll actually stand up. So if the ghost doesn't kick it over, by the time you go back into the van for check for ghost orbs, you can also check for ghost writing. So that's a nice little tip as well. Where are you? How old are you? So there we go. We do have a spirit box. So as you can see, now you can see my breath. Like I said, if it ever goes below 3 Celsius, so if it goes to 2.9, 2.8, it will eventually end up be freezing. So we have spirit box and freezing temps, which leaves us with Wraithmare Demon, which is either going to be Wraith is fingerprints, Mare is ghost orb, and Demon is ghost writing, right? So going back out to the truck. And it just, like, when you play the game more and you maybe do a couple of things that I'm showing you now, the game will become extremely more easier for you. It'll feel more fluent. It won't feel like you're not, like, getting any evidence or it's taking too long to get evidence, so on and so forth. So, see, as you can see, also coming into play, our camera setup with our book setup. You can clearly see that it says can't run on the book, which is ghost writing, which means that we do have a demon, so we're not going to need the UV light. We have EMF reader, crucifix, and a ghost event. So we can go ahead and take in double crucifix in the EMF reader. So just little things like that help you out. So it's like less trips back and forth. You know what I mean? It's all about like efficiency. Some people like to take their time and enjoy the game, go back and forth multiple times. But me, I'm always here for efficiency. So it's really easy to just do stuff like this to help me out. So going over the crucifixes, a lot of people don't really understand how to place them or just have bad crucifix placement. I'm going to kind of give you an idea how it works. So it touched something over here. We got the EMF to go off, so we got that objective done. So like I said before earlier in the beginning of the video, the crucifix has a 3-meter radius around it, which is the equivalent of 9 feet. The only time this ever changes is when you're going against a banshee. If you're ever going against a banshee and you know it's a banshee, the crucifix radius will be bumped up to 5 meters, okay? So a mistake that I see a lot of new players do is they'll either put the crucifix, you know, in the doorway or even outside of the room. You always want to have the crucifixes in the room. The crucifix prevents a hunt. It doesn't stop one. And I, as well, when I was new to this game, used to put the crucifix in the door, thinking that, okay, it's going to be in this room, it's going to hunt, it's going to walk into it. But like I said, it prevents a hunt. It doesn't stop a hunt. So if it's already hunting you, a crucifix is going to do nothing. So you always want to have the crucifixes in the room, evenly spread them out to what you think 3 meters is. So like, you know, crucifix right there, maybe a crucifix right here. If it decides to hunt, this whole room's covered. So if it decides to spawn in this room, it will not get us. Also, it is showing itself. We can take a picture of it. There we go. And also, you can take a picture of the ghost writing, which will give you another interaction. So, we'll go back out to the truck real quick, and we can also grab another camera so that we can take a picture of the doll upstairs. And maybe if we find a Ouija board, I'll tell you guys how the Ouija board spawns as well. Bleasdale is my favorite map, and I think it's the best map to get money just because there's 3 free interactions. There's 3 dolls, so that's literally 3 free photos that you can take if you're struggling to get photos. It's really easy to find the bone. The only real thing about Bleasdale for new players is getting the ghost in the upstairs hallway and in the attic. It can be a little hard, but you know, you play the map enough, you get used to it, it'll become easier. So going over Ouija board spawns, there can be one in this room on this ground, pretty much where this green bottle's at. Coming in over here into the kitchen area, the Ouija board can spawn over on this coffee table right here next to this chair. It'll be just on top of that table. And then the last place that the Ouija board can be downstairs is right on this little workshop. This is called the garage. I don't really know why it's called the garage, but in the garage it'll be right on top of this hammer. So we can go ahead and turn the power on. The power will either be here, underneath the staircase in the front, or upstairs in the attic. Those are the three power source locations. So there's only 3 more places that the Ouija board can be. So there's 6 spawns total for the Ouija board on Bleasdale. So the 3 that I showed you down there. The next one being in the upstairs bathroom straight ahead when you come up the stairs. It'll be in the bathtub. A lot of people don't know about this, but the Ouija board can spawn in the bathtub. Also, if you did not know, the Ouija board is a 30% spawn chance. It is not guaranteed. The bone is always on the map, although sometimes people can't find it because it's either underneath a rug or like under in a door frame or something like that. So sometimes it could be a struggle. Here is the 3rd doll, which will give us another interaction. So that's doll 1, doll 2, doll 3. That is all the dolls. And then the Ouija board can also spawn behind there. Sorry if I didn't mention that. The Ouija board will be behind that dressing room thing. And then the last place that the Ouija board can spawn will be upstairs in the attic on that little blue bin with the yellow top. So that means we didn't get it. Like I said, the Ouija board is a 30% spawn chance, so you're not guaranteed the Ouija board. You are guaranteed the bone, although sometimes it may be underneath, you know, underneath a sheet, underneath anything, really. So we have a picture of the ghost, which means we got ghost event, and our other objective was to get crucifix. So our sanity should be roughly around like the 50 to 60 range. Another thing that you guys should know is that there's 12 different types of ghosts, 6 freezing ghosts, 6 non-freezing ghosts. The Banshee, which is my favorite ghost type, can hunt you at any percent sanity, even if you're 100. I've actually walked into the house and, no exaggeration, in about 10 seconds on Ridgeview Roadhouse, I got hunted in 10 seconds. First 10 seconds of loading into the map, walking in, and I got instantly hunted. The Banshee can hunt you at any sanity. The way that it works is the higher the sanity you are, the less chance it has to hunt, but the lower and lower you get, the higher and higher and higher the chance of you getting hunted is, right? The Demon can hunt you at roughly around 80% sanity, and the Mare, if you do not know about the Mare in your journal, if you read about it, the Mare has a higher chance to hunt you in the dark. Where is it at? Mare. Will have an increased chance to attack you in the dark, and it'll have a lower chance to attack you in the light. So a Mare has, I think, roughly, it's like around 70 to 75% sanity is when it can start hunting you. So Banshee, it can hunt you whenever. Demon is like 80. Some people say 90, but I say 80, 85. Mare 70 to 75, and then every other ghost that is not those 3 will roughly start hunting you around 60% or less. That is when they can start hunting you. That is the threshold. And this is all on professional. I do recommend, if you are not playing on professional, whenever you unlock it, it's like level 10 or something. Start playing professional as soon as possible. It's not even harder nor scarier. I think that the amateur and the intermediate in this game is like a placebo effect, if I'm going to be real with you. When you play amateur, you have a 5-minute timer in the truck, which I'll show you. Intermediate, you have a 2-minute timer. They really don't do anything, because by the time that the ghost starts doing things and you get everything done, you maybe figure out the ghost, that timer will be up. So the setup timer is pretty much just a placebo effect, and there's no reason to not play professional. You get more money, more experience, and you'll just learn the game faster. So this is the timer that I was telling you about on professional. There will be no timer, but on amateur it will be 5 minutes. Intermediate will be 2 minutes. So whenever you unlock professional, I highly recommend it. Like I said, some of these items are just honestly useless. Like this, you'll never have any use for it. This, I mean, you can use it, but it, like a sound sensor, it's really not going to help you. Motion sensors, I only really use if I have a side objective. The spirit box, the glow stick. The only time I'll really use the glow stick is if I'm using salt to get footstep photos, which I can show you that right now, actually. We can go ahead and take this in, and we'll show you how to get footstep photos. There is a way to get footstep photos and get them guaranteed every time. It's really simple, and I'm going to show you how. So first is, of course, have salt, and then have your UV light. So we'll come in here. I'll grab both the salts and the UV light. So let me drop this real quick, and we'll come back. So the most guaranteed way of getting footprints is having it step in 2 piles of salt. Sometimes it'll leave the footprints if it steps in 1. Salt and footprints have always been really like weird, never been like guaranteed to happen properly. As you can see, we also got the crucifix objective, so we can go ahead and take a pill, which will set us back up to roughly around like 90%. So yeah, 94. So the way to get footstep photos is you want it to, of course, it'll step in the salt, and then you'll hear like fast pitter pattering, and that is when you'll know that it's leaving the footprint. So you want to shine a UV light, and you'll see green footprints on the ground. You want to shine a UV light on it, switch to your camera, and take a photo. So I'm going to show you that right here. Also, another little tip, if you didn't know, there is only one ghost in the game that will not leave footprints, which is a wraith. So every other ghost will leave footprints. So if you ever use salt and you hear the fast pitter pattering and you don't see green footprints using the salt, that means you already know what the ghost is without getting any evidence. It's a wraith. So as we can see, it stepped in the salt here, but sometimes it's not guaranteed to walk around and, leave the footprints. So maybe waiting for it to step in another one. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Honestly, just kind of sitting here waiting for it to step in another salt pile, which it did. But honestly, sometimes it just won't do it, honestly. Salt is just one of those weird things. Like, sometimes it'll happen instantly. Sometimes it has to step in all of them. Sometimes it'll even step in all of them and do nothing. Like, not even leave a footprint. You just have to wait and listen for that pitter-pattering noise when it's stepping really quickly. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Also, the best thing to say is give us a sign, or like show me your presence for the ghost to do something. I've been playing the game a lot, so that's what I find to work best the most. So doing that will help a lot. Doesn't look like it's going to be leaving us green footprints, so that is unlucky. But yeah, pretty much what would happen is it would step in the salt. There would be green footprints. You'll hear fast pitter pattering. Oh, there it goes. So like that, you shine your UV light on it, and then you take pictures of the green footprints, and it'll count as all footstep photos. So with that being said, we have everything. We have the freezing temps, the spirit box, the ghost writing. It is a demon. We got an interaction, bone interaction, ghost interaction, footstep, and it's a demon on Bleasdale, which I think that is the best solo map in the game. We have every objective, so we can go ahead and close up the truck, and we should be getting roughly around like $250, maybe $265. I highly doubt $265, probably $250. And that is on professional. See what we got here. Should be $250. Yeah, so $250. The way to get insurance is by playing solo. You will not get insurance on professional playing in a duo or a 3-man or a 4-man. The only way to get insurance is by playing solo. So, you know, all the objectives done, $30 from photos. The most you can get is 40, but 40 is really rare. There's roughly around a 1% chance that you get $40 in photos. You know, the bone evidence and the insurance, $250 game, and you get a whole bunch of XP. And that is pretty much it. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe. I also will be streaming over on Twitch daily at around 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It is just Cyclone TV with 2 E's. And, yeah, you guys have a good one. I'll catch you next time. Bye!